Hello guys, Land the Thomas Man here. Today we will be doing the history of Kennywood, Thomastown, a documentary I've actually cancelled. However, I am bringing it back today. Well, whenever you're seeing this video being uploaded. I actually have some personal history because I've actually went to this park during 2018 holiday lights. Well, we'll get into that a little bit more, but this is the history of Kennywood, Thomastown. For a brief history on the park before we get into Thomastown. It began back in 1898 when it was established as a trolley park. The land it was on was called Kenny's Grove, a popular picnic spot since the 1860s. The park would be open to the public in 1899 and has been a beloved amusement park in the Pittsburgh and West Mifflin areas of Pennsylvania. Now to talk about even more history, but this time not on the park. Now we'll be talking about the engine that Thomas runs on, aka the Gimbals Flyer. It was first featured in 1939 at New York's World's Fair, sponsored by Gimbals Department Store. Yes, that Gimbals Department Store. Yes, one of the stores at the Beaver Valley Mall. Yes, that video I did at the Beaver Valley Mall. Anyways, before arriving to Kennywood, the ride has gone through several name changes over the years, including Little Choo Choo, Moon River, and the Hoot and Holler Railroad. Currently, the layout has been finalized in 1946 and has mostly maintained its original layout. Now the time to talk about it before Thomastown. So basically, through the 2000s and 2016 era, basically, old Kennywood Railroad had basically stayed the same throughout the years for everyone to ride and basically just have fun around the old Kennywood Railroad, learning about the history of the park too, as it was basically almost like a historical part of the train since you didn't really have much to do there.
It's called Thomastown. That's right. The park says Thomastown will be in and around the old railroad, and it will feature 4 Thomas the Tank Engine themed rides. The park is also adding an entertainment show.
This will require a number of changes to the area around the train at the park, but we're doing everything we can to add new rides without taking out rides. So we've removed the queue line for the Raging Rapids, and it's going to be relocated so it's over closer to the Thunderbolt and Ghostwood Estates, but the Raging Rapids will remain as it is and be here this summer.
Yes, in early 2017, Kennywood Thomastown would be replacing the old Kennywood Railroad, and it would be open by the summer of that year. So basically, you had a few months to get this thing opened. Here we have the concept part of the park, and they both seem to be pretty early as they feature some things that weren't in the actual park, and some weird editing choices for it. The first part in this image, the Thomas in this is actually the Malibu Lemon Thomas face. You can tell because of this comparison with the Six Flags Thomas. Most of the faces on these, on the characters in this are just so goofy. I mean, look at this. While this one is not as goofy, Edward, Henry, and Mavis are all in this. While the original old Kennywood Railroad didn't have this, it is a crime we did not get to see Thomas with a caboose. I mean, look at that. It's so cute. Now finally, to talk about the construction. Well, the construction was basically normal for this. Basically, everything that was made at Edaville was basically put here, but into smaller scale. Edaville having the full-size Tippett sheds, of course. Later, all the main engines were shipped. Basically all the talking ones from Garner Hall, which could have been where Thomas came from. We don't exactly know where he came from, but Garner Hall made the engines for Edaville and Thomastown, and possibly Thomas's shell to go on the old Gimbals Flyer engine.
Newest adventure here at Kennywood. We have been telling you for months about the new Thomastown at the park, and as of this afternoon, it is finally open. Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Caitlin Sykes takes us for a look inside. This is the moment so many of us have been waiting for, a brand new attraction opening here at Kennywood, and we are on the rides. We are taking you there. With the red ribbon cut, the much anticipated Thomastown is ready for Kennywood goers. Brand new rides, new attractions, 7 months of non-stop hard work getting it ready, paying off today.
After 7 months of hard work, Thomastown Kennywood had officially opened on July 27th, 2018. The rides at Kennywood Thomastown were Cranky's Drop Tower, Harold's Helicopter Tour, Fiery Flynn's Training, Diesel Drivers, and finally, for the ride, Journey with Thomas, along with a stage show called Steel City Adventures. Well, in the last video, I didn't have much to talk about during Edaville's day-to-day life. This video, I actually have stuff to talk about. Because, unlike Edaville, where it's in Massachusetts, I live in Pennsylvania. When I was first told about Kennywood Thomastown, I didn't think it was a theme park. I literally thought it was Thomas in downtown Pittsburgh, like a literal Dale Thomas dummy unit in Pittsburgh. I was at my dad's house at the time, and he told me we were going somewhere. I didn't know where at the time. We then later got to Kennywood. Kennywood at the time was doing their 2018 holiday lights. I think I still have a brochure from that with Thomas on the map, with Thomastown on the map. If I can, it's in storage right now, but I will show you guys if I have it somewhere. We then later made it to Thomastown, and yes, here's a picture of me at Thomastown. I wish I had a YouTube channel at the time, or even a device to film, but I didn't, so that was sad. Because that would have been cool to see how I would have filmed back then, because it would have been trash. Edaville didn't even get this much theming, but that year's movie at the time was Big World Big Adventures, so the whole park was basically blasting Big World Big Adventures music, and all you would see on, like, Nafford Station is Big World Big Adventures. That's all it said. I remember seeing Big World Big Adventures all over the dang place. Gosh.
A week after it opened, Kennywood's newest ride is closed indefinitely after Thomas the Train jumped the tracks tonight for the second time this week. We told you about a similar incident on Tuesday. Now, no one was injured either time, but Kennywood tells us is closing the Journey with Thomas ride whilst maintenance team investigates the cause and identifies a lasting solution.
Another accident has shut down Kennywood's new Thomastown train until further notice. The train jumping the tracks again last night. The ride will be closed while the maintenance team investigates and tries to figure out a permanent fix. The first incident happened on Tuesday. The ride just launched a week ago today. Thankfully, no one was hurt in either incident.
This day-to-day life section is way longer than the last one that I did for the other video. Thomas has derailed 3 or 4 times at Kennywood. Luckily, it was only in his early days, so it wasn't that bad. I had actually planned on going to Kennywood in 2024 to do this exact same video and actually be there, because it's not that far away from me and I could do it. And I could be right there instead of, in my house. However, that wouldn't be the case. Little did we know that in 2024, Kennywood Thomastown's last operating season would be in 2024. It was the shortest-lived Thomas Park, only making it to 5 years. It was announced that at the end of the 2024 season that Kennywood Thomastown would not be returning to the park that year. Kennywood Junction would replace the Thomastown name. Cranky's Drop Tower was rethemed to Kenny's Drop Tower. Harold's Helicopter Tour became Parker's Cloud Cruiser. Flynn's firefighting training became Fire Bustin' Brigade. Diesel drivers became Coal Hauling Convoy. For the saddest one of them all, Thomas was later rethemed into the 1898 Kenny Express. While Kennywood Thomastown might have ended, the people who have went there, including me, will never forget Kennywood Thomastown. And what's that?
Come on the journey with Thomas and friends, all around the world and then back again. Big new adventures for all to see. So much to discover in each country. We're going to join Australia.